Everybody's talking about the new Bob Dylan biopic that's out. What's it called? A Complete Unknown, right? I haven't seen it yet. My brother saw it. He thought it was great. He has not been into Bob Dylan. I was the one really into Bob Dylan. He was not into Bob Dylan. But so this song is somewhere between Woody Guthrie, Bob Dylan, Dickie Betts, and maybe a bunch of other people thrown in there. Maybe some Johnny Cash too. There you have it. Lesson 215 of A Course in Miracles, the workbook. Bye. No. Now we're going to talk about it. All right. Lesson 215. I am not a body. I am free, for I'm still as God created me. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. This is lesson 195. The Holy Spirit. This is Jesus' commentary on love is the way I walk in gratitude. The Holy Spirit is my only guide. He walks with me in love. And I give thanks to him for showing me the way to go. I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. All right. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. What does it mean? It means that gratitude really is the attitude, right? Is the attitude that leads to beatitude. Remember the Beatitudes from Matthew, the Gospel of Matthew, right? Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are they who are grateful. Jesus didn't say that actually, but that's what Jesus is saying here. You know, being in gratitude. But what does it mean to be in gratitude, right? And love and gratitude really go together. Being in the state of gratitude is moving you closer and closer to love. And love is a state of being which really is beyond the world as we know it, right? It's not of this world. And yet it can be there are echoes of it here and now, everywhere, right? Allman Brothers, the song Revival. People, can you feel it? Love is everywhere. Love is everywhere, right? Love is, as Walt Whitman said, it's a kelson of creation. Love is in all things. God is in all things. The love of God is everywhere. And if we're not experiencing the love of God, it's because we're blocking it in some way or another. So gratitude, what is gratitude? Gratitude is when you stop blocking, right? When you remove the interference, and you allow yourself to experience the love that is ever present, that is here and now, that is everywhere. And gratitude can be an attitude that you have all the time, right? And this is where this course is taking us, and that's why Jesus says here, the Holy Spirit is my only guide, right? My only guide. Do you ever think how close the words God and guide are, right? And Jesus does call the Holy Spirit a guide, and here guide is capital G. The G in guide is capitalized. So guide is a good word. It's kind of like the Holy Spirit is a stand-in in this world for God, right? Because God is not here. Because God is here, but God is not here, right? This is where the metaphysics of the course, you have to understand the metaphysics of the course. The metaphysics of the course is that God is the only reality. In a sense, God is here, right? Because God is the only reality. But God didn't create the world as we know it, right? This world is based on that tiny mad idea, which is an impossible idea, that it's possible to be separate from God. And from that tiny mad idea came a whole world, a dream world, an illusionary experience that the Son of God, which is all of us, wanted to experience what it would be like, what it might feel like to be separate from God, which is really an impossibility. And we're still, as Jesus has told us in the course, we're still at home in God. We have never left God, right? But we've allowed ourselves to have this dream, and in this dream, we have forgotten our true reality. We have forgotten our true identity. We have forgotten our true self, which is which is none other than God, right? That is our true identity. I know this, it's hard to explain this, it's hard to, and I don't know if anyone really can. I don't think I truly can either. I think this is, I think some people maybe are better able to talk about these kinds of things. I hope I'm making sense. But it's like God has never left home. God has always been home, right? God is still that one reality, which is the only reality. So God does not do anything, because God does not need to do anything. God did not make this world. God did not create this world. God can only create like God's self. And what is God? God is love. God can only create love, right? And love is the only creation that God ever made, which means that we are also love, because if I am still as God created me, I am still that love. I am not a body, and the world as we know it is a world of bodies, is a world of subject and object. And if God is not a body and I am not a body, then this world cannot be real in the ultimate sense, right? In some relative way, it is real. It's obviously real to us right now. So it is real in a relative sense, but not in an ultimate sense, right? Ultimately, it is not real. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. And if the Holy Spirit is my only guide, and the Holy Spirit walks with me in love, that means that when I walk with the Holy Spirit, I walk in gratitude and love. And I can walk with the Holy Spirit all the time if I take the Holy Spirit as my only guide, right? But if I take the ego as my guide, and whenever I take the ego as my guide, then I experience suffering, because I've chosen, that is what I have chosen, right? I've chosen to follow the ego. Now, the beauty of the Course is Jesus in the Course is trying to show you what the ego is, so that you can then better discern between what is ego and what is the Holy Spirit. Because if you don't know that difference, if you don't know what the difference between the ego and the Holy Spirit is, then you may be following the ego and you may not even realize that you are. You may think you're following truth or love, but you're really not, right? Because you're actually just following this old tape that is not really leading you anywhere. It's leading you, if anything, it's leading you to hell and damnation. Ultimately, right? It may not feel that way in the moment that you're doing it, but it is. Here comes the rain again. What was I going to say? So I give thanks to Him for showing me the way to go. Gratitude to the Holy Spirit. What is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit is the memory of God that is still within all of us, right? It's that memory that is our inner knowing, you could say. We all know what the truth is, right? In our heart of hearts. So the Holy Spirit is like our heart of hearts. The Holy Spirit is the truth in our heart of hearts that we can always fall back upon, right? And in fact, if we, not only can we always fall back upon it, but where the Course is taking us is for that to become an automatic thing, right? So that we are deferring to the Holy Spirit all the time, and we're not following the ego at all. And Jesus says you do not need the ego to orchestrate your life. You do not need the ego to orchestrate or navigate your life here. In fact, the ego, a lot of people think you do need the ego, but not in the sense of the ego as being keeping you in a state of unworthiness, of guilt, of shame, of any kind of suffering, any kind of pain, any kind of lack, any kind of limitation, any kind of depression, any kind of anger, revenge, judgment. All of that you do not need, right? You do not need any of that to live in this world, although you may think you do. And that's because that's what the ego wants you to believe, right? Ego is the ego is not a thing, but it seems like a thing, right? The ego is ultimately nothing, but it seems almost like a thing, right? It seems almost like it's an entity. And Jesus in the Course talks about it as if it is a thing, but He also reminds you it's really nothing. But you've made it into something, and so it is something for you. For all of us here, we think the ego is the Almighty, really. That's how we think of the ego. And the reality is that that love is really the most powerful force in the universe. It's really the only force in the universe. This is where the Course, is really getting at this is my firm conviction based on really looking at these things, is that it's getting at a non-dual understanding of reality, that there's only a oneness, right? There's not a two-ness in reality. There's only that oneness. So love is really everything, and the ego is nothing. Or you could say fear is nothing. And we do not need the ego at all. And we can take the Holy Spirit, we can take the Holy Spirit's hand, or Jesus' hand, it's the same thing, and walk the way of love and gratitude. and we can do that every moment, right? We don't have to go back and forth. We don't have to keep, we don't have to compartmentalize. We don't have to, sometimes walk the way of love and gratitude and sometimes not. No, but we can be that. We can be there all the time. And if we are there all the time, we will see how it really works. But as long as we want to stay stuck in believing that the ego can give us anything that we really want, we are gonna be a house divided against itself. As Jesus says in the Gospels, our minds are divided, and we're not clear. We're confused, and we're in doubt, and we're in a state of unclarity. So I will step back and let the Holy Spirit lead the way. I will step back and let love lead the way. And I can be in love and gratitude all the time. Until it becomes automatic, but then I realize that is what I am, right? I am not a body, I am free, for I'm still as God created me. I'm not a body, I am free, for I'm still as God created me. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Holy Spirit is my only guide. Walks with me in love. I give thanks to Him for showing me a way, showing me the way to go. I am not a body, I am free, for I'm still as God created me. I am not a body, I am free, for I'm still as love created me. I am not a body, I am free, for I'm still as love of God created me. For I'm still as love of God created me. I'm still as love of God created me. I am not a body, I am free, for I'm still as God created me. Woo-hoo. All right, see you soon. Stay the course.